All right, let's talk about retirement. Planning for it can feel like you've been handed a giant, complicated puzzle, but with half the pieces missing. It's confusing. But what if I told you there's a simple roadmap, one that can guide you through every single turn? Well, in this explainer, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to give you that map and show you step by step how to get to a stress-free retirement. Let's dive in. So, you're excited for that next chapter of your life, right? But you're absolutely dreading the mountain of paperwork that comes with it. If that sounds like you are in the perfect spot. This guide is all about cutting through that confusion and just giving you the clear, simple steps you need to take. No jargon, just a plan. So instead of a confusing maze, I want you to imagine the next few years as a clear, straight highway. We're about to get a bird's eye view of the whole route, so you'll know exactly where you're headed and what all the major exits are along the way. And here it is. This is our roadmap. Right now, at age 63, you're at the starting line. And your first two big moves are figuring out Social Security for your income and getting health insurance to cover you. Then, coming up at 65, that's a huge milestone. Medicare begins. After that, at 67, you hit what's called your full retirement age. That's when you get 100% of your benefit. And finally, if you wait until 70, your benefit maxes out. It won't get any higher. This is the whole journey, right here. Okay, let's zoom in on that very first stop on our map, Social Security. This is a big one, It's going to shape your income for the rest of your life. And there's a really critical choice you have to make right now that could make a huge, huge difference to your bottom line. So here it is, the first major fork in the road. And this is especially important if you've had a physically tough job and you're dealing with some medical stuff now. You've got two main paths: take regular early retirement or apply for Social Security Disability, also called SSDI. And believe me, the choice you make here could be a real game changer. And here's why it's such a big deal. Look at the numbers. If you take regular retirement now at 63, you get about 75% of your full benefit. And that's a permanent reduction. But, and this is a big but, if you qualify for disability, you get 100% of your full benefit, starting right away. We're talking about a 25% bigger check every single month. So what does that actually look like in real money? Well, let's just say that 25% difference works out to be about $500 a month. Over 20 years, that's an extra $120,000 in your pocket. $120,000. That's why this decision is so incredibly important. Now, you have to know the rules for disability are pretty strict. They don't just ask if you can still do your old job. They ask if your medical condition prevents you from doing any kind of work. So, if you were a mechanic with a bad back, they're going to ask, well, could you work a desk job? Could you be a greeter at a store? It's about being unable to adjust to other work. But there are several things that can really strengthen your case. Having a long paper trail of medical records is huge. Your age actually helps. They tend to be a little more lenient with folks over 60. And if you've only ever done physical work your whole life, that's a big factor too. The more proof you have, the better. So, ready to apply? It's actually easier than you'd think. First, just go to ssa.gov. Get your documents together, Social Security number, birth certificate, that kind of stuff. Start the application online. And here it is, the most important part of this whole process. When the application asks, are you unable to work due to illness or injury, you need to answer yes. That single word is the key that starts the disability review. Okay, just a little reality check here. I want you to be prepared for this. Most people who apply for disability get denied at first. Do not let that discourage you. It's actually a pretty normal part of the process. The key is to appeal, have all your documents ready, and just be persistent. A lot of people win their case on appeal, so don't give up. So, you've got your Social Security application in motion. Great. Now let's move to the next step on the roadmap, health insurance. Remember, Medicare doesn't kick in until you're 65, so we need a plan to bridge that gap. And for that, we're going to turn to healthcare.gov. To make this go as smoothly as possible, it's a really good idea to just gather a few things before you even sit down at the computer. You'll need Social Security numbers and birthdays for anyone in your household who needs coverage, your address, and a good estimate of your income for the year. And yeah, that includes any Social Security money you expect to get. As you can see, the process itself is pretty straightforward. You just go to the website, make an account, answer some basic questions, and then it'll show you all the plans you can choose from. Here's a pro tip though. Before you pick one, really take a minute to compare them and, most importantly, check to make sure your doctors are in the network. And listen, this is so important. You can do all the paperwork, pick a plan, and get an approval. But your insurance is not active until you pay that first monthly bill, the premium. So as soon as you enroll, make sure you make that first payment right away. So, you've successfully built the bridge to get you to age 65. Now, let's talk about that huge milestone, making the switch over to Medicare. This is a big transition, and you definitely want to plan ahead to make sure it's seamless. You know, Medicare can seem a little confusing with all its parts, Part A, Part B, but it's actually pretty simple. Just think of it like this. Part A is your hospital insurance, and for most people who've worked, it's free. Part B covers your doctor visits, and they just take the premium right out of your Social Security check. And then Part D is for prescriptions, and that's a separate plan you'll choose yourself. Okay, everybody, listen up. This is a really important deadline you just cannot miss. You have a window of time, starting 3 months before your 65th birthday, to sign up for Medicare. If you sign up late, you will pay a penalty on your Part B premium for the rest of your life. So please, mark your calendar, set a reminder, don't miss this window. Now, here's a great piece of news that might make your life a whole lot easier. If you're already getting Social Security checks when you turn 65, you don't have to do a thing. They will automatically enroll you in Medicare Parts A and B. Your card will just show up in the mail. How easy is that? Whew. Okay, we have covered a lot of ground. I know it's a lot to take in, so to make it super simple, let's put it all together into one final action checklist. These are the exact steps you need to take and exactly when you need to take them. Ready to get started? Here are a few things you can do literally today. Go to ssa.gov and create a My Social Security account. It's easy and you can see your benefit estimates. Then, go find your birth certificate. Start putting all your medical records in one folder. And finally, just start thinking, when do I really want my last day of work to be? These small things make a huge difference. Now, as you get closer to your actual retirement date, timing becomes key. So here's your timeline. About 3 to 4 months before you plan to stop working, that's when you apply for Social Security. Then, as soon as you lose your insurance from your job, you have 60 days to get on a plan at healthcare.gov. And then, starting 3 months before your 65th birthday, it's time to sign up for Medicare. And here is one last little tip that will save you some money. The day your new Medicare coverage officially starts, make sure you go back to healthcare.gov and cancel that old plan. You don't want to be paying for 2 insurance plans at the same time, right? I know this can all feel, well, a little overwhelming. But just remember, you don't have to do it all at once. Just take it one step at a time. Follow the checklist and you will get there. You'll be on your way to a great retirement. So what's the very first step you're going to take? Whatever it is, just get started. You've totally got this.